She's just a girl, but she's on fire.
Hi, Ali Alvarez, and how is it going? How is the 30-day millionaire mindset going for you? I know there's been a lot of information if you've seen any of the other videos, and if you haven't, sign up on my email list and you can get access to all of them. The last video I did, we talked about debt, and I shared with you 7 tactics for moving your mindset out of a debt mindset and into higher ground. So I wanted to expand upon that a little bit and talk about self-worth, and which is sort of the opposite of debt. If you think about it, debt is our lack of self-worth, and so this is what we're worth. We're kind of worth negative, right? And what that feels like to create self-worth in your life and how to do that. Sometimes you'll hear people talk about that someone who is a millionaire who's created a lot of wealth in their life, they think differently. It's not that they've had more opportunities or different opportunities. It's not that they were born into the right family. It's that their thinking, the way that they think and their point of view and their perception and how they approach life is different. And it's kind of like what I would call I almost think of lotto as a little bit of a sickness, right? Because a lot of times people say, well, I'm just going to win the lotto, right? And that's a certain mindset. And that's actually a mindset of lack of self-worth, because there's no intelligence used to create the wealth from the lotto. And to kind of share an idea around that is that one of the reasons that if a lot of people, they have statistics, they show that most of the people, or many of the people that win the lotto actually after several years go back to their same financial status that they began with, because they didn't have the mental container to hold the wealth and abundance to begin with. And there's a little saying around that. It says, money without financial intelligence will go quickly. And this can be very true and very proven. Forbes magazine, they do their annual, richest people in the world. There's also a lot of great stuff in Forbes as far as the mindset. And one of the things that Forbes talks about is it's harder to keep the money than it is to make the money. And you see that a lot, because that's something they talk about when they're talking about they're the wealthiest people in the world, and it's people fall off, and people have sometimes figured out how to create the wealth in their life, but when you look at what is that true intelligence that it takes to hold on to it. One of my heroes around that is Warren Buffett, who has always taken on a moderate lifestyle, and he didn't need to. But it was always, he has a really guiding principle that's about live within your means. And you can always give yourself love in a different way. A lot of times in our culture, in our society, we think, oh, we have to create our self-worth by driving the biggest car and having a big house and showing people on the outside that we're worth something. But on the inside, we might feel empty and not worth so much, so that we're sort of using these external ways to develop self-worth. And what I want to encourage you to do is to flip that. And I'm going to share a little personal story about my own thinking around that. When I was in the age of high school, early college, and 20s, I had a lot of challenges with my own self-worth and my value. I had gone through some eating disorders and was really, I would say, in a trash mindset about myself. I didn't feel good about who I was. And I moved to New York from Ohio with the desire and the intention to be an actress. And one of the ways I saw myself as an actress was a very wealthy, very successful actress. And I sort of saw money around it. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but it kind of wasn't linked to anything real. And I think that's why I struggled as an artist for many years and actually didn't make money as an actor. And I always had this sort of fantasy, we're going to call it a fantasy because it clearly never came true, is that I would be coming home to one of my high school reunions and sort of get back at all the people in high school that pissed me off by driving up to my high school reunion in a red Lamborghini, like the most expensive car, and like pouring with money, and just being like there you go, high school, for all the people who didn't get me or didn't understand me. And I kind of held that vision for a really, really long time. And it broke one day. And one of the ways it broke is that I had gone through a divorce, and my life was shattering in all different ways. And during that shattering moment of my life, I looked at that vision that I held, and I was like, that was about getting back. That was about trying to create wealth to show someone else that I have value, to kind of like create value in an external way. Does that make sense? So that's what I was doing. That was the game I was playing with myself. And that was how I was trying to create self-worth. Thinking that, well, if I'm a famous actress and millions of people love me, then I have value. If I drive a red Lamborghini and this like amazing car back to my little tiny hometown in Ohio, in Ottawa, Ohio, and that all these people see that I've made it in the world, then I have value. And I think we kind of do that on a level of like, if I have a big house, then I have value. We don't have to create value by those external ways. All we have to do to create self-worth and value is to actually just sit in the seat of love for ourselves. It's as simple as that. It doesn't take money to have value for who you are. You can honor who you are without a big car or a big house or like lots of great clothes. Those are things that you can bring into your life because you like them, because they make you feel good, but you need to begin to create who you are out separate from that. Because your self-worth at the end of the day is who you are being in the world. And if you are filled up with who you are, and if you really love who you are, all of those other things don't matter. So that is my thoughts and sharing with you on self-worth. And I encourage you to check out our Community of Empower Network, because there is something within the Community of Empower Network that, even though people are creating great net value worth in their life through this system, it's really also ultimately about raising up who you are in your being. And it's one of the things that I've really learned and have grown a lot through Empower Network is standing in the truth and authenticity of who I am. And it doesn't mean the money you make. It really means at the end of the day who you are and who you are being in the world. Have a great day. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.